Is this thing on? Is it on? I don't know. Wait a second. There's a little red light blinking there. It's somewhat hypnotizing. Oh, I think it is on. It's on. Oh, it's on. It's on. It's the Jack verse. You never know what you're gonna get here. Today, I have a rather special little discussion I want to have with you. This will appeal to newer writers and fans of my work. What I want to talk about today, we're going to break it down into like Literature 101, or actually Writing 101, as it were. I want to talk about the paragraph. The paragraph. The paragraph. You know what the paragraph is, right? Yeah, you, in the back row, with your Fat Albert lunchbox open. You're trying to dig into your Twinkies and your ham sandwich. Put it away for a moment. And in just a second, you can dive into those delicious snacks. The paragraph. Of late, I have come across some instances where it seems like the writer might not have quite the grasp on what the paragraph is that they should. And I thought it might be nice to break it down here. Now, before I get going, I have to tell you that these are the rules that Jack built. These are the rules that I follow. This is the way I write. I've been at this for over 20 years. And I know the rules, so I'm allowed to break the rules. And I'm going to give unto thee the rules by which I follow, the rules by which I write, so that you too may get your Jack on. I'm just kidding. Okay, what is the paragraph? Well, the paragraph is a collection of words. To many, they think a paragraph is a nice little block of words and sentences that fit nicely on their screen or on the page. And that's all fine and good. That's a great place to start. And you can look at some writers and see that their novels consist of nothing but big blocks of words and sentences, long paragraphs. That's okay. That's okay if that is your voice. Now, the problem that I have witnessed lately is that I've seen a lot of writers switching thoughts, even switching characters within a single paragraph. Well, consider it. You're reading along or you're writing along, and you've got character A saying something, right? So at the top of the paragraph, character A says, "Hello, I would like to purchase a new cat." And then we go into some prose, some description, narration. The narrator takes over and says, "Oh, but then there was a huge selection of cats in the store by which character A was able to choose from." And then out of nowhere, in the paragraph, or at the end of the paragraph, you switch to character B. "Oh, I don't know. Maybe you should consider a dog," said character B at the end of that paragraph. What's wrong with that? Well, you switched characters. And by extension of that, you switched thoughts. I always consider a change of thought is a perfect spot to end a paragraph, or actually to begin the new paragraph. A change of thought, a change of character. Because what happens is as a reader, when you read a paragraph and it starts with the character A, has some narration, and it has character B in there, it gets confusing. And then you have to add all these tags, you know, dialogue tags in the paragraph that don't belong to the initiating character. So one of the best rules that I like to use is as I'm writing along, if there's a change in thought, it's a change in paragraph. If there's a change in character, it's a change in paragraph. It's as simple as that. No, it's not. No, it's not. I think it's very important that every author associate their voice, their writer's voice, with a musical style, because it's going to help you to discover your rhythm, your tone, your groove, your funk, whatever. I think that my style is very much kind of a prog rock voice. Why is that? What is prog rock? Well, prog rock is a style of music that's well known for changes in rhythm, very intellectual themes, blah blah blah. But it's that change in rhythm that's important to me. Let me tell you why. I like to use paragraphs to not only develop a good flow, but to interrupt that flow, right? And I interrupt the flow a lot of times to punctuate a particular sentence, or to capture the reader's attention in a different way that might make them go, oh, wait, something cool's coming up. So I'll have a long paragraph, blah, 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 and then I'll stop it with a single sentence, blah, 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 blah. Or, like, I'll have moments where it's blah, 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 blah. There's a musicality to that, and that's important. That's very important to me. So a paragraph is not only just a way to change your thoughts, change your characters, but also to change up the rhythm. Because let's face it, when you're looking at a book, right, and you open up that book and you just see huge blocks of text, it can be intimidating. And in some cases, it can be boring, because you know you're in for a lot of description. And that's okay. A lot of description is fine. But we as readers, and we as writers, and we as artists like variety. And a good way to deliver that variety, I can speak, I swear. A good way to deliver that variety is breaking up your paragraphs. And don't just randomly break up your paragraphs, because then all of a sudden you're not going to make sense. Keep those thoughts, keep those similar thoughts together. As soon as you switch your thoughts, a new paragraph. As soon as you switch characters, a new paragraph. And those are really important. Those are really important. And I am really surprised at how many writers lately I have seen, or I've read, who have broken that rule. Yes, and rules are meant to be broken, but you can't break a rule and then introduce confusion to the reader, right? We've got to help the readers as much as we can. Not that they're stupid at all. As everybody knows, anybody that's read my books know that I give the reader credit for their intelligence. I think it's insulting to assume that a reader doesn't exist on the same intellectual level as me or anybody else. But, if you don't have a fundamental understanding of what a paragraph is, then I highly recommend you go back to what you've written and check out the way it flows, and make sure that it's not confusing, and make sure that you're not switching point of views or characters. Now that's a good issue, is point of view. There's first person and there's third person. There's first person present tense and first person past tense, and third person present tense and third person past tense. Now, of course, writing first person present tense is really hard. Really, really hard. The first time, not many people know this, but the first draft of I, Zombie I was written in first person present tense. And I created all these different little tricks to pull that off. If you read the book, you know Jacob has his audio recorder with him. Well, in the original version, that audio recorder played a much bigger part in the story. But anyway, you can't change perspective. Right? Okay, so let's say, for example, you're writing in first-person past tense. Okay, first person. That means that the narrator, right, is a character in the book. So, or yes, or a character that's dead or whatever. But you're writing in first-person past tense, and you've got a character that says something, and then another character they're talking to says something, but in the narration, you mention how that character thinks or feels. Well, you can't do that because it's in first person, and that first-person character can't know what that other character is thinking and feeling, right? Now, if you're doing third-person perspective, that omniscient narrator can know what those characters are thinking and feeling, right? Right? So, you can't change perspective. You can't. Now, there are books where they'll have one chapter is third person, one chapter is first person, and I personally use in a lot of my books, I'll use first person past tense for the main character, and then I'll switch to third person past tense for the bad guy. Ooh. But anyway, that really doesn't have a whole lot to do with paragraph. Why I brought that up was changing perspectives. Don't change perspectives regardless of where it lands in the paragraph. There's so much to learn. Okay, so that's where I stand on paragraphs. If you have any questions, feel free. Find me on Facebook, Facebook. Find me on the Facebook. And let me know. Let me know what you want to hear me blather on about. Ask me questions, and I shall answer them. Okay, this is the Jack verse, people. I'm gonna switch paragraphs now. Go over there. Do something else. See what I did?